HOA Karen demanded my backyard pool for her daughter's Sweet 16 party. She threatened fake fines, forged documents, and ordered me to leave my own house during her event. Big mistake. Some people learn the hard way that you can't steal what isn't yours. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. I was floating peacefully in my backyard pool on a Saturday morning when I heard the familiar sound of trouble approaching. Click, click, click went the high heels on my stone pathway. Only one person in Meadowbrook Estates walked with that much attitude. Linda Patterson, our self-appointed HOA queen, appeared at my pool gate like a storm cloud in a designer suit. She didn't knock. She didn't wait for permission. She just opened my gate and marched onto my property like she owned it. Ryan, we need to talk. I stayed floating on my pool raft, sunglasses on, trying to pretend this wasn't happening. Morning, Linda. Nice day for a swim. Don't be cute with me. I'm here on official HOA business. She pulled out her phone and started taking pictures of my pool area. This pool is perfect for what I need. That got my attention. I paddled to the edge and looked up at her. What you need? For what? My daughter's Sweet 16 party next weekend. I've been planning this for months and the venue I booked just canceled. This community pool will work perfectly. I blinked at her. Community pool? Linda, this is my pool. In my backyard. On my property. She waved her hand dismissively. Details. The HOA agreement clearly states that community resources should be available for resident functions when needed. Show me where it says that. Linda smiled that fake smile she used when she thought she was being clever. Section 12B, subsection 4. Community amenities may be allocated for resident events at the discretion of the HOA board. I climbed out of the pool and grabbed my towel. Linda, that section is about the community clubhouse and the neighborhood park. It has nothing to do with private property. Your pool is clearly visible from the street. That makes it a community amenity. The woman had lost her mind. That's not how property law works. I'm not asking, Ryan. I'm informing you. The party is next Saturday from 2 to 8 p.m. I'll need you to clean the pool, provide towels, and make sure the area is presentable. Oh, and you'll need to be somewhere else during the party. We can't have the homeowner lurking around making guests uncomfortable. I stared at her in disbelief. You want me to leave my own house so you can throw a party in my backyard? Exactly. I'm so glad you understand. Linda, I'm not giving you my pool for your daughter's party. Her fake smile disappeared. Ryan, I tried to be nice about this. But if you won't cooperate, I'll have to take official action. What kind of official action? She pulled out a folder thick with papers. HOA violation notices. I've documented several infractions on your property. Your fence height, the color of your mailbox, unauthorized landscaping changes, and improper pool maintenance. The fines add up to $8,000. I flipped through the papers. They were ridiculous. My fence was the same height as everyone else's. My mailbox was the standard black that most neighbors used. The landscaping was just some new flowers my girlfriend had planted. And my pool was crystal clear. These violations are made up. The HOA board will review them next Thursday. Unless, of course, we can reach an agreement about the pool situation. It was pure extortion. She was threatening fake fines to force me to give up my pool. Linda, get off my property. You have until Wednesday to reconsider. After that, these violations become official. She turned and clicked her way back to the gate. Oh, and Ryan? I've already sent party invitations mentioning the beautiful pool. It would be very embarrassing if I had to cancel because of one selfish neighbor. After Linda left, I called my neighbor Jake, who lived 2 doors down. Jake was a lawyer who had been fighting Linda's HOA tyranny for years. She wants to use your pool? Jake laughed. That's a new level of crazy even for Linda. Can she actually do this? What about these violation notices? Send me photos of the papers. I'll look them over. An hour later, Jake called back. Ryan, these violations are complete nonsense. Half of them cite HOA rules that don't exist. The other half are for things that are perfectly legal. So I can ignore them? You could, but Linda has a history of making life miserable for people who cross her. Remember what happened to the Johnsons? I remembered. The Johnsons had refused to remove their garden gnomes, which Linda claimed violated the aesthetic standards of the neighborhood. She made their lives hell for 6 months with constant complaints, fake citations, and harassment until they finally moved away. What do you suggest? Fight back. But be smart about it. Linda always overplays her hand. Give her enough rope to hang herself. What do you mean? Don't refuse the pool directly. Tell her you need to review the HOA agreement first. Make her think she's winning. Meanwhile, document everything she does. Linda can't help herself, she'll do something stupid that we can use against her. I wasn't sure about Jake's plan, but I trusted his legal expertise. That evening I called Linda. I've been thinking about our conversation, I said. Oh, have you come to your senses? I want to cooperate with the HOA. But I need to see the specific rules about community amenities. Can you send me the exact language? Linda's voice got excited. Of course. I'm so pleased you're being reasonable. I'll email you everything tonight. 2 hours later, my inbox was full of HOA documents, most of which I had never seen before. Linda had sent me rules about community pool usage, event hosting guidelines, and resident obligations. The problem was, none of these rules existed in the actual HOA agreement I had signed when I bought my house. Linda had created fake HOA rules. Over the next few days, I played along with Linda's scheme while gathering evidence. She sent me detailed plans for the party, including a list of 60 teenage guests, catering requirements, and decoration specifications. She also made several more inspections of my property, taking hundreds of photos and making notes about improvements needed for the party. Each visit provided more evidence of her illegal harassment. The best part was when she brought her daughter Emma to see the pool. "This is perfect, Mom," Emma squealed. "My friends are going to be so jealous." "I told you Mommy would find the perfect venue," Linda cooed. I was watching from my kitchen window. Emma seemed like a nice kid who had no idea her mother was essentially stealing someone's backyard for her party. On Wednesday, Linda called with final instructions. "The party is in 3 days. I need you to have the pool area ready by 1 p.m. Clean towels, fresh flowers, and I want those ugly pool chairs replaced with something more elegant." "Linda, I've been reviewing the HOA documents you sent." "Good. I'm glad you're taking this seriously. I have some questions about the authority to use private property for community events." There was a pause. "What kind of questions?" "Well, I can't find these rules in my original HOA agreement." "When were they added?" Another pause, longer this time. "The HOA board updates policies regularly. You should have received notifications." "I didn't receive any notifications about changes to private property usage." "Ryan, we've been over this. The pool party is happening whether you cooperate or not. Don't make this difficult." "I'm not making it difficult. I just want to understand my obligations under the HOA agreement." "Your obligation is to follow HOA directives. Period." After she hung up, I called Jake. "She's getting desperate." "That's good." "Why is that good?" "Because desperate people make mistakes." "What did she say exactly?" I repeated the conversation. Jake was quiet for a moment. "Ryan, I think she just threatened you with illegal seizure of private property. That's a crime." "What should I do?" "Give her exactly what she wants." Thursday morning, I called Linda bright and early. "Good news. I've decided to cooperate fully with the HOA directive about the pool." "Wonderful. I knew you'd see reason. I want to make sure everything is done properly. Can you put the pool usage request in writing? Just for my records." "Of course. I'll email you the official form today." The official form arrived that afternoon. It was a masterpiece of fake authority. Linda had created an official-looking document claiming HOA power to designate private pools as temporary community amenities. She signed it as HOA president and included fake board member signatures. She had just committed fraud in writing. Friday morning, she called again. "Is everything ready for tomorrow?" "Almost. I have one small problem." "What now?" "My pool guy says the chemical balance isn't right for a large group. He recommends draining and refilling it to make sure it's safe for all those teenagers." "Fine, whatever. Just make sure it's ready by 2 p.m. "Absolutely. The pool will be exactly what you asked for." That evening, I started draining my pool. Saturday afternoon at 1:30 p.m., Linda arrived with a team of decorators. She marched through my backyard gate like a conquering general, ready to claim her prize. Then she saw the empty pool. "Ryan, where is the water?" I was sitting on my back porch drinking lemonade and reading a book. "Oh, hi Linda. How's the party setup going?" "The pool is empty. There's no water. I told you I was having it drained and refilled for the party." "Well, where's the new water?" I shrugged. "The pool company said it would take 6 to 8 hours to refill properly. They started this morning around 8 a.m. Linda's face went red. 8 hours? That means it won't be ready until 4 p.m. Actually, they said it might take longer. Something about proper chemical balancing and filtration cycles. You did this on purpose. I did exactly what you asked. You wanted the pool ready for your party? I hired professionals to make sure it was safe for 60 teenagers. The first party guests started arriving at 2 p.m. Teenagers in swimsuits and flip-flops walked into the backyard expecting a pool party. Instead, they found an empty concrete hole and a very angry woman in a designer dress. "Where's the pool?" one kid asked. "It's being filled," Linda said through gritted teeth. "When will it be ready?" "Soon." But it wasn't ready soon. By 3 p.m., the pool was only 1/4 full. The teenagers were getting restless. Some started leaving. Emma looked embarrassed. "Mom, maybe we should just go to the community center instead?" "No. I planned this party perfectly. The pool will be ready." By 4 p.m., half the guests had left. The pool was half full but still not safe for swimming. Linda was pacing around my backyard like a caged animal. "This is sabotage," she screamed at me. "I'm just following HOA guidelines for community pool safety," I said calmly. At 5 p.m., Linda completely lost it. She started yelling at the remaining party guests, her daughter, the caterers, and anyone within earshot. "This is all Ryan's fault. He ruined my daughter's party on purpose." Emma was crying now. "Mom, can we please just go home?" "No. I spent $3,000 on this party. I sent 60 invitations. I hired caterers. This pool will be ready." That's when Linda made her fatal mistake. She pulled out her phone and called the police. "I need to report theft of community property," she told the 911 operator. "A resident is refusing to provide access to the community pool for an authorized HOA event." Within 10 minutes, 2 police officers arrived. Officer Martinez and Officer Thompson looked confused as they surveyed the scene: an empty pool, crying teenagers, and a hysterical woman in a party dress. "Ma'am, what seems to be the problem?" Officer Martinez asked Linda. "This man," she pointed at me, "is refusing to allow authorized use of the community pool for my daughter's birthday party." Officer Thompson looked at the empty pool. "Ma'am, there's no water in this pool. That's the point. He drained it on purpose to ruin the party." The officer looked at me. "Is this your property, sir?" "Yes, sir." "This is my backyard and my pool." "And you drained your own pool?" "Yes, sir. I hired a pool company to clean and refill it. They're still working on it." Officer Martinez looked confused. "Ma'am, are you saying this gentleman is required to provide his private pool for your daughter's party?" "Yes. Under HOA community amenity rules." "Do you have documentation of this requirement?" Linda triumphantly pulled out her fake HOA forms. "Right here. Official HOA Directive for Community Pool Usage." Officer Thompson examined the papers. "Ma'am, these documents claim authority over private property. That's not how HOA agreements work." "Of course it is. I'm the HOA president. Even HOA presidents can't claim private property for community use without the owner's consent." Linda's voice got shriller. "He consented. He agreed to provide the pool." Officer Martinez looked at me. "Sir, did you agree to this arrangement?" "No, sir. She demanded use of my pool and threatened me with fake HOA violations when I refused. I never agreed to anything." "That's a lie," Linda screamed. "Show them the emails." I pulled out my phone and showed the officers our email exchange. The fake HOA rules, the threats, the demands that I leave my own property during the party. Officer Thompson frowned. "Ma'am, this looks like harassment and possible fraud. Creating fake HOA documents is a serious matter." "Fraud? These are legitimate HOA policies." "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to calm down." But Linda was beyond calm. "I am the HOA president. I have authority over this community. This pool is a community amenity whether he likes it or not." The situation escalated quickly. Linda's screaming attracted more neighbors, including Jake, who arrived with a folder of documents. "Officers, I'm an attorney representing several residents who have been harassed by Ms. Patterson. She has a history of creating fake HOA rules and threatening residents with non-existent violations." Jake handed Officer Martinez a thick folder. "These are documented cases of harassment, fraud, and illegal threats by Ms. Patterson over the past 2 years." Linda's face went pale. "Those are lies. All lies." "Ma'am," Officer Thompson said firmly, "I'm going to need you to stop yelling and come with us to sort this out." "I'm not going anywhere. This is my daughter's party." Emma tugged on her mother's arm. "Mom, please. Let's just go home." But Linda shoved her daughter away. "No. I worked too hard for this. This pool belongs to the community. That's when she made her biggest mistake. Linda marched over to my pool equipment and started trying to turn valves to fill the pool faster. "Ma'am, step away from that equipment," Officer Martinez ordered. "I'll fill this pool myself if I have to." "Ma'am, you're damaging private property. Step away now." Linda ignored the warning and kept messing with my pool equipment. When Officer Thompson moved to stop her, she spun around and shoved him. "Don't touch me. I have rights." Pushing a police officer is assault. Within seconds, Linda was face down on my pool deck with handcuffs on her wrists. "Linda Patterson, you're under arrest for assault on a police officer, criminal trespass, and harassment." As they loaded her into the patrol car, Linda was still screaming. "This isn't over. I'll sue all of you. You can't treat the HOA president this way." Emma was sobbing. The remaining party guests were recording everything on their phones. The caterers were packing up their equipment. It was the most spectacular meltdown I had ever witnessed. The story of Linda's arrest spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. By Sunday morning, everyone knew about the HOA president who got arrested trying to steal someone's pool for her daughter's party. Emma came to my door Sunday afternoon, looking embarrassed and exhausted. "Mr. Ryan? I wanted to apologize for my mom's behavior. I had no idea she was doing all that stuff." "It's not your fault, Emma. Your mom made her own choices. I feel terrible about my party being ruined. And I feel worse about what she did to you and the other neighbors." Emma seemed like a genuinely nice kid who was mortified by her mother's actions. I felt sorry for her. "Would you like to use the pool sometime? Just for swimming? No parties, no drama." Her face lit up. "Really? You'd let me do that after everything that happened? You didn't do anything wrong. You're welcome to swim here anytime as long as you ask first." "Thank you so much. That's really kind." Monday morning, Jake called with updates on Linda's legal situation. She's facing multiple charges: assault on a police officer, criminal trespass, harassment, and fraud for those fake HOA documents. What about the HOA itself? That's the best part. The county investigated her claim to be HOA president. Turns out there never was a legitimate HOA board election. Linda just declared herself president 3 years ago and started making up rules. So the whole HOA was fake? Not fake exactly, but illegally managed. Linda violated multiple state laws about HOA governance. The county is dissolving the current board and requiring new elections. What does that mean for the neighborhood? It means Linda's reign of terror is over. All her fake rules are void. All the fines she collected illegally have to be returned. And she's banned from holding any HOA position in the future. The news got better. Several neighbors came forward with stories of Linda's harassment. Mrs. Chin got back $2,000 in illegal fines. The Rodriguez family got back $1,500. Even old Mr. Patterson, no relation to Linda, got back $800 for unauthorized bird feeder violations. 3 months later, the neighborhood held its first legitimate HOA election in years. Jake ran for president on a platform of reasonable rules and respectful communication. He won unanimously. Linda and her family moved away 2 weeks after the election. She couldn't face the neighbors after her spectacular public meltdown. Emma sent me a thank you card from their new town, saying she was happy to have a fresh start. The fake HOA violations against my property were officially dismissed. My fence, mailbox, landscaping, and pool were all perfectly legal and always had been. But the best part was the new HOA's first official act. Jake proposed a good neighbor policy that specifically prohibited harassment of residents and required all HOA actions to be documented and approved by majority vote. "No more HOA presidents acting like dictators," he announced at the meeting. "This community belongs to all of us, not just whoever shouts the loudest." The policy passed unanimously. A year later, my pool area had become the unofficial neighborhood gathering spot. Not because anyone demanded it, but because I genuinely enjoyed hosting barbecues and swim parties for families who actually respected my property. Emma's younger brother visited over the summer and loved swimming in the pool his sister had told him about. The Rodriguez kids came over every weekend. Mrs. Chun brought homemade cookies and helped me maintain the pool equipment. The difference was respect. These neighbors asked permission, helped with cleanup, and treated my property like the private space it was. One evening, Jake and I were floating in the pool, discussing the neighborhood's transformation. "You know what I learned from the Linda situation?" I said. "What's that?" "Sometimes the best way to deal with a bully is to give them exactly what they ask for." Jake laughed. "She asked for a pool party and you gave her an empty pool. She asked for HOA documentation, and I made her put her fraud in writing. She asked for police involvement, and they arrested her. The beauty of it was I never had to fight her directly. I just let her destroy herself. That's the thing about bullies like Linda, Jake said. They always overreach. Give them enough rope and they'll hang themselves. We floated quietly for a while, watching the sunset reflect off the water. My pool was exactly where it belonged, in my backyard on my property, shared with neighbors who respected boundaries and treated each other with kindness. Linda had taught our neighborhood an important lesson. Real community isn't built through threats, fake authority, or stealing other people's property. It's built through mutual respect, honest communication, and understanding that everyone's rights matter. My pool was never a community amenity. But by treating it as my private property and sharing it generously with respectful neighbors, it became something better, a symbol of what happens when people choose cooperation over coercion. This summer, Emma graduated from high school. She called to ask if she could have a small graduation party at her old neighborhood. Just a few close friends, she said. And I promised to ask permission properly this time. Of course, I told her. But this time we'll make sure the pool is actually full. The party was perfect. 12 teenagers, good music, great food, and a crystal clear pool. Emma's friends had a wonderful time and everyone helped clean up afterward. As the last guest left, Emma hugged me goodbye. Thank you for giving me a second chance at a pool party, she said. Thank you for showing me what a real pool party should look like. She laughed. You mean with water in the pool? I mean with respect, gratitude, and people who understand the difference between asking and demanding. Linda never learned that lesson. But her daughter did. And sometimes, that's the best revenge of all, being the positive influence that helps someone become better than their worst example. My pool is still in my backyard. It's still private property. And it's still shared with neighbors who understand that the best community amenities are the ones freely given, not forcibly taken. Karen tried to steal my pool. Instead, she lost everything.